Generative AI is a line, of an era. You know how they have, whenever you have like dinosaurs, there's eras or whatever. This is an era.
Right. So we're at the beginning of this really massive shift with artificial intelligence, and we're being told there's a whole new way that we're going to be interacting with computers. And among all of the tech businesses, the one that seems most poised for a change is Google. What's next for Google with the coming wave of AI?
Oh, I think they're going to be huge. I think this is a new lease on life for them. Search is starting to go down. That's not how people are going to, because people are now, AI is inside search, right? So they have so much data, but they've got to be careful because of their monopoly position in search, even though it's sort of a declining monopoly position, that they have the government in its crosshairs, so they've got to be very careful about that. But I do think they're poised to do a lot of things if they need to. Like they have so many assets. There is a worldwide brand, computing power. This new AI stuff is going to take enormous amounts of computing power, and they have it. And there's a handful of companies: Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, to a lesser extent, the others.
Do you think they're better positioned than OpenAI is to be the dominant platform?
Yes, they're hindered by regulatory issues. But OpenAI has Microsoft as its partner, and Anthropic has Amazon as its partner. So everyone's going to partner up. But yes, obviously. They've been slow. They were slow to cloud. I had a long discussion with Sundar Pichai many years ago about why didn't you get to cloud? Well, they were using it for search, so they didn't have the bandwidth, but what a great business then they got into it and did okay. They could pivot anywhere they want. It's just a question of whether they have the executive will to do so.
Is the business still going to be, the surfacing of information, which has been Google's whole thing? Is there going to be a bigger shift to, this is an operating system style thing now?
They've had their little flirtations with cars and everything else. They still are with Waymo. I think they need to drill down into AI, and that's it. It's still search in a different way, but it's, resurfacing of information is what they do, and then selling advertising against it. Now, things will change. I think their regular search business is declining eventually. I wouldn't mind having their set of cards at all. I mean, it's just a question of inertia of these big companies, and that's where, the little companies like OpenAI, Google should have been at the forefront of. They bought DeepMind 1 million years ago. I broke that story, actually. They were very early to this stuff. They just moved slower and more carefully because of who they are and how big they are. They're big. If they move, things break.
OpenAI kind of forced their hand a little bit in terms of.
It did, but they were there. That was when they bought DeepMind, everyone looked up because they were the one that were at the forefront of this. And then they got, Microsoft was at the forefront of a lot of things, and then Google ran past them, right? So that happens all the time. But now Microsoft's recovered, and they're doing just fine. But they're big, so they'll be fine. They're not in danger of becoming desiccated antiques. There's no way. It's not like the end of like Kodak. Like if you're thinking they're Kodak, they're not Kodak. So.
Well, in terms of desiccation, what do you think about the health of the web, right? Because Google really relies on there being fresh, constant, up-to-date content, but websites are kind of falling apart as an industry.
That's not how we're going to interact with it anymore. It's going to be a pull. Years ago there was the pull thing. What was it called? There was a bunch of companies. It was too early, and it would pull information for you. And I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was a really interesting idea. It would go get things for you. That's the way it's going to be. Like the way retail is now. You're not going into a Circuit City. Like, you don't remember Circuit City. You're not going in the supermarket. You're not going there anymore. You will maybe a little bit for convenience, but
nostalgia.
Whatever. Just why? Why should you go hunt things when you can just go, I'd like this, and then why should you go search for them? It'll know what you want, and you will know what you want, or you'll do it by speaking or vision, or I'll take one of those, and the screens will be big, and it's like you're in a store. There's going to be physical things, logistics, because we're still physical. We haven't out of our brains yet and out of our bodies, but yet. But I think that everything the line I have in the book that I say over and over again, everything that can be digitized will be digitized, period. End of story. So now what does that mean? Start to look at everything. And it's just because we can't digitize it now, it doesn't mean we won't be able to digitize it. Or, we'll be printing livers someday. We'll print livers, we will. We'll be able to digitize organic material. We'll print everything.
Check it out. It's called Burn Book. Thanks for watching.